For brass, we just need an underlying structure. Or a noise value. Like even this right here would be okay. Something that breaks it up. And you can see all this is noise with yellow and brown. You can use old paper too. Old paper works great for brass. Okay, for this part, I got all the parts right here in the center, so I don't have to go very far for this. I can turn it on multiply right away. And then just chop out anything I don't need. Either multiply or soft light. Or you can just cycle through here until you're happy. I kind of like multiply myself, but I'll let you decide. So now we can just get rid of the other stuff. Here's a different way to do it. So just make my brush smaller. So rather than do all that selection nonsense, we can just go in here and just eliminate what we're not using. Sometimes you'd have to switch over from that live brush to something a little bit more tamed so you can get up close. Okay, also we can deduct that probably this green right here is not going to be here or should not be here. So this is where I make contact using the clone stamp tool. I put it on all layers and make a new layer. So this is my adjustment layer. Holding Alt, I can click here and then paint in the other regions. Just like that. Touch that up here. Most of the areas that I'm touching up has a piece of geometry over the top of it, and if not, it does have the OCC yet. So if I put this on very top, you'll find that if I turn that on, all those shadows are still there. They live on my OCC. Just make sure your OCC is off or ambient occlusion is off before you touch these up. And it is okay to color outside the lines because again, the OCC is going to cover that up too. See? So OCC is amazing. I will find something for steel. Again, steel is just like brass. It's more of a noise thing for the underlying. Oops. So things like this, for example, are good. And even that might have a little bit too much texture. That is a big image. Almost felt like I was in dial-up time there. Okay, for this, what I want to do is put it on the very top. And again, I want to make it the size of the actual sword. Because right now it's just too big. I would say something like this would be better. Again, I use that 17 brush. Find I go to that a lot. And go into brush. And go jitter all the way up. For this, I might have to use some clone stampage. Control E. But there's another one I want to show you, because just showing you the same thing over and over is redundant. Let's go to the patch tool. So the patch tool works like this. You take the area that looks weird and you put it over here. And it'll blend it for you. Take the weird area that's weird, put it over here. Put it in an area that has no flaw. Perfect. Now let's put that back to multiply. And I'm not liking multiply. Let's do overlay. Ooh, overlay is nice. I like overlay. Let's get rid of this brush and go back to another brush, like this one. And technically I could leave some of these anomalies in on other things. It breaks up stuff, but it breaks up like flaws. Alright, not bad at all. I like it. Now I do like to be uniformed with things, so I'll paste that back in and I'll do an old oil painting trick. So oil painters used to put this film, this really thin film on all their stuff. And it would be in layers, so it would give it depth, and it would also take up and break the textures. How, let's say this is a brown, but this is a gray, but the two don't match at all. So this uniforms the color across that. And these can be just set to very, very low things, like very low opacity. Here's what it without and on. So it's very minute. But again, it breaks up things and allows you to have a lot of change or anomalies within your texture. Alright, so let's save this hot mess. Again, I can just file save. Then I can go back, and here's what it looked like before. And sometimes I like to do this, take a snipping tool, snip it. I'll throw it over there, and here's what it looks like now. So right click, reload image file. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. So this is under the worst lighting conditions. This is just basic default stuff. In fact, there you go. By changing it over even to basic default. Don't like the gem. I think there's an anomaly right there I want to get rid of, but everything else looks okay. So in the next video, we'll look at maybe touching it up a little bit.